Oh, that's a good story.
Guild! Hey, cuties. It's Maximilian Clark.
Hey, cuties. It's Rachel Music.
You didn't also have to... I said the hey, cuties. You didn't have to do the hey, cuties.
You don't have a monopoly on the cuties.
No, I'm just saying we can't...
Hi, cuties.
It's us.
It's us.
And we're just so excited. We're just so excited.
Bit of an update.
Yeah.
That we're excited.
We're just
so
we're
excited
just so excited.
I'm vibrating with excitement right now. But I'm in a library.
We are so excited to be announcing the complete remaster of Season 1 of Josie's Lonely Hearts Club. If you have a chance, go back and re-listen. It's not going to look any different. Your app is going to be like, you already listened to this. Are you sure? But
yeah,
it's going to be better. And if you've been waiting to tell your friends about us, now's a great time.
And real change comes from within.
Yeah.
So don't think of it as a facelift. Think of it as like a colonic.
So I do this thing sometimes when Rachel says a joke that displeases me, that I just pretend that it didn't happen. And that's the kind of valuable insight that we're going to give you because we want to reward our loyal listeners. We are doing something special. I think never been done. Can we?
Never been done.
Check that? Yeah, never been done.
We're trailblazers.
So you know how on old DVDs and Blu-rays, they used to have a track with director's commentary? They don't do that for podcasts. And we think that's
why
nuts.
not?
Yeah, why not?
I think that's crazy.
What's wrong with you?
They're already listening.
Yeah.
They want to hear the commentary.
Yeah, exactly. So we are going to go back to our pilot, episode 101, and we are going to give you creator commentary, the two of us as your special treat. If you want to see this with video, you can jump on our Patreon and see our goofy faces. Yeah, but anyways, we hope you enjoy.
Buckle up, cuties.
So this is episode 101, Jam It Up, Sluts, which is still my most favorite tagline. We're putting that on a mug. Check out our merch store. So here we go. Woo! Coming in hot, Miss H.
Don't I know it?
Care to share with the rest of the class?
You ever been speed dating?
Oh no, I'm only certified to slow dating in Mexico.
Yeah, I guarantee
about this,
speed
and,
dating was a man's idea.
Like the Choco Taco.
Well, let's really strong the romance
Yeah,
of the cattle call and shoehorn it into a game of musical chairs where the winner gets to drive off on a brand new hog.
So you would be no, it's fine. Just ignore the fact that you're talking. We're talking over it. So what's actually
we're just gonna buckle through.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Sure.
Go ahead.
No,
I'm gonna try and read your lips as well.
Yeah. No, what's interesting about this episode is it's not actually the
Good
pilot.
night, cuties.
When
and
we
welcome
recorded
to
this was
Josie's
episode
Lonely Hearts
3?
Club.
3.
I'm your
this is
host,
episode
Josie
3.
Heller.
Yeah. And then we just sort
Let's
of looked
spend
at
the
the
night
early parts of our
together.
season after we got
As you might
the
imagine,
callers.
I
because,
know how to make
if you
a
don't know,
great
our show is
first
semi-scripted,
impression,
right? And
truly,
so we don't
in
really
my
know what
heart,
half of the content of our
I
episode
think
is
they're
going to be
overrated.
until after we get
I've
it.
got this friend.
And
Let's call
there's
her
so much
Mary
about
Jo.
this episode that we
Now,
love.
Mary Jo is a
like the
catch,
Kingsley
a
called, like just the
total
whole arc of it. Just
babe.
every
Her being single is
we
an
have Al
affront to
Pagano in this
God.
episode doing.
And Mary
a
Jo told
couple
me
calls,
she had a
actually.
date lined up, and she
Well,
asked
well,
if
he
we
goes
could
and sees
meet for a
that
drink
Zydeco
beforehand.
group.
Yeah.
And it's really
So when
charming.
I get
I'm
to
so
the
sorry, I
hotel
didn't mean to
bar
cut
and
you
No,
off.
no,
Sorry,
it's a dialogue.
folks,
It's a
I've
dialogue.
never
Of course,
seen
it's
this
just a
poor gal so
dialogue.
cute.
It's just two people
I ask
talking.
her when's her
other-
date
two
going
other
to
people
arrive,
talking in
and
the
she
background.
babbles out this
Yeah, who are like us, but also
apology. I
not
can't make
like
heads
us.
or
It's very
tails of it.
interesting, and
I'm terrible at
the
first
epistemology
impressions,
of it could
she
befuddle,
says.
but
And
I
just
forget what
before I
both
can
of
ask
those,
her
at
what
least
she
one of those
means,
words
I
means.
think
the bartender
epistolary is
brings the
letter
bottle
writing.
back over and says,
Epistemology.
"You ladies here for the speed dating?"
Yeah, epistle, like
It
the
probably
writing.
is.
Yeah.
It's like an epistle, like an epistolary
The-
love
the
story.
pestle with the
like she's gonna face
poisons
a
and the
firing squad.
pestle
Ah,
with the-
is the brew
So
that
you
is
tell me,
true.
listeners,
Yes.
what was I
court gesture.
supposed to do?
Got it good.
Honestly,
I tell that
you know,
I do like
bartender,
that
"You
that's
bet
the
we
origin
are."
of Get It,
And I
Got It
grab
Good.
myself
Get
a
it,
name
yeah, the
tag.
court gesture.
I write
Like
down
a
the
classic
first name
Danny
I
Kaye
can think
movie,
of,
which
and I head
Rachel
out
and
to
I
find Mary Jo, the
have
love of
a
her
very
life.
similar sensibility when it
If
comes
you've
to our
never
comedic
been on
instincts,
display
which you
at
might
this
notice in sort of the
meat
back and
market,
forth.
it's terribly
yeah.
impersonal.
Yeah, meat
I mean,
market.
how can
That's a
anybody
joke,
get a
by
proper
the way,
read on
that
someone
I
after
did
only
not
2
get
minutes?
when I pitched it.
It distills the whole
I was just like-
Yeah,
waltz of
it was very-
culture into a
It's like
Sometimes that happens where we will miss
Superficial
layers.
ready-made
We'll miss
anecdotes.
layers
Yeah.
with each
And
other.
it goes both
and then you'll
ways.
say something that is
take my first date.
unintentionally brilliant.
After he's done
Yeah,
explaining
and
his job and
you
his
will
dream
get a joke
vacation,
that I
I
wasn't
tell him,
telling, and then I'd be
I'm
like,
actually just here to
shit,
support
that's brilliant.
Mary Jo.
That's great. Yeah.
He says, "Oh, the
There's a
cat
German
lady?"
condition called
And I
Witzelsucht,
say,
and I don't know
"Oh,
if it
you
really
Witzelsucht?
mean
means,
the
but I-
architect and
Witzelsucht.
That
volunteer
sounds
EMT who
Witzelsucht.
happens to own a wonderful
No,
cat?"
it's supposed to be a
Before I
real
was
medical
saved by the
condition,
buzzer,
and it is
I
compulsive
ended the night
punning,
thinking,
often an
I had
inability
Mary
to
Jo's
tell when a
next
joke is
suit clogged.
inappropriate.
Hans,
It had
now
to
that
be
you're
that
18, we
clean-cut
are taking
retired
you
Air
to get your
Force
whistle
guy,
sucked.
the one who loved
To get
bluegrass.
your-
But we didn't get back at the bar, and she's only
There
got
you are, man.
Ugh. Blech. Warren.
I got it.
I mean, the cat-hating
this is great.
workaholic?
Yeah, because like honestly, like
just
Rachel and I do the
swoons.
show for each
Oh,
other.
he's been saving up
like
to
my
take his
whole
mother to
mission
Montreal.
in doing this
Montreal.
show is just
What
to
a
get her
dreamboat.
goat.
And for a moment,
And
I was
it's great. It's so
gawking at her.
rewarding. By the way, these monologues.
Had we met the
So
same man?
Rachel doesn't know what's
And then I
happening
realized
in
that-
the improv
Nope.
sections.
No.
Like we
No, we
insulate her.
didn't.
I do all
And
these
that's the
conversations
problem
with
with
the
first
cast and figure out
impressions.
their characters.
and that's
and give them
tonight's
secret
show.
Notes.
Let's
But
light
she
up
gets
the
these
board,
monologues.
cuties. Give me your
And,
best
man,
wrong
they're so nice.
impressions, your worst good
Oh,
impressions.
I was just
Hell,
saying how
your Christopher
long this
Walken
one
impressions.
was.
Yeah.
It's 5:05.
We got to-
We cut this down in the
5:55
remix, by the way.
but you
This is a
already
Did we
minute
really?
shorter in the remix.
Frank,
Yeah.
You're shitting.
Who's
No,
our
no, no.
first caller?
Yeah,
coming
and-
up
and-
first,
Oh,
we have
that's
Violet
fantastic.
calling
Big
from
ups to
Mesquite.
Jenny.
Yeah,
Violet,
and this is the sort
you're
of thing
on
that
the
I
air.
think is
Hi,
really great
Josie.
about the new cut is that like
Great to be on the
we-
show.
we're just
Oh,
less
good to
precious.
have
with
you.
Thanks. Yeah.
Okay.
So I know a thing
Oh!
about first impressions. I'm actually
it.
really good
This
at
is
them.
Carla
So, fun fact.
Shantika
Except,
Lerner Lobato Montero.
There was
and
one time
is
that my first
my
impressions
wife.
didn't exactly go as
He's
planned.
alive.
Are we still doing
Very
Borat?
nice.
I've
She is
been-
very
I've been
nice.
seeing this
Is that,
guy
is that a
for about 3 months.
Yeah, that,
And he
that's
decided to
relevant.
bring me up to
but
his
I love her
family
so
cabin.
much.
He
In
told me
Flagrante
all
de
about
Rowboat
family
was going to be
reunions
the
at his
title of
cabin,
this
how beautiful it'll be.
episode.
Until we
So
got
we go up,
until we
and
got
I'm gonna
jam,
meet
jammed
Let's
up.
jam it up
But we
slightly.
go up
Which
the
is
night
just you can't.
before.
Um,
And, you know, we
It's
have
too good.
Yeah.
fun having the
It's too
place
good.
to
Man,
ourselves.
it's great.
And
And it's
he
like,
wanted
God,
to take
I
me
think
on
that
this
came from
romantic little
Laura
rowboat
Lee,
ride.
Because
Okay.
basically,
It's
when we're recording
early in the
these,
relationship, and
we
he
have
was-
an
he was really
improvised
so romantic
session
with
where we
me.
have all 4 of our
And
callers
he
sit
takes me on
down
this
with us,
little rowboat,
and
it
we're
is
in a
just like
a riverside
fairy
room, which is kind of like a
beautiful.
Zoom.
The
And
lake is
I
like a
am
glass
in the background,
surface,
just sort of in the
perfectly
chat,
calm
whispering
with
to
this
all the
mist
actors
coming
as they're going
in.
after
There were
Josie,
these
and we've
nesting
predetermined
herons,
some
and the whole
of
thing
the
was,
major
shall
points
we
that they're
say,
going to hit, and
effective.
some of the
I
twists
see.
that they're
And so we
going to have.
began
But I
amorous
like to let the actors
activities
play. But every
in
now
the
and then, I'll
rowboat.
just like
I'm so
sneak
impressed.
in.
I
Like,
don't want to
hit her with
grill you
this,
on
or
the
if I come up
mechanics
with
of
like,
it,
a
but
good
I
joke in
imagine
the
your
moment,
momentum would
You
need
once
to
I
have
be
to
feed
be
it to our
careful
actors.
about the
And
direction of the
it's always fun,
like,
swaying,
getting
to,
so to speak.
like
Oh,
one up
so you had to
each
go
other with
stern
an
to
actor
bow.
where I'm just, like, sitting back
Exactly.
being like,
It
and now you
sounds
could say this.
magical.
Until we heard shrieks,
as
and
well.
it turns out we were floating by the dock where his family had been setting up.
Oh.
Yeah,
Carl
his
sounds so
mom
cool in this.
had been holding a picnic
She's got a
basket
great
that
voice.
she had
Do we
dropped.
also- should
His
we also
aunt
say
was
who
trying
else-
to
who else,
cover the
your wife
eyes
plays?
of his teenage cousin.
Oh,
That is
Brenda?
a hell of a way to meet
Brenda.
Yeah.
to
Haley
meet the
Brenda.
family.
Yeah.
Haley Brenda last
what
name.
did you
Brenda.
do?
Which
I think I
is,
managed to say
which actually would have been the
Hallie
pilot.
before
I think, like,
jumping into the
I think
lake.
part of the reason we
Wearing
made this the
nothing
first episode
but a
is
life
because
jacket.
episode
Did you put
3
the life jacket
is the
on
one where
over your naked body?
What, you gotta
Like, you're
practice
just
safe
grumpy.
sex, right,
you're
Josie?
just really grumpy in it. Like you come in and you're like
it was really
hungry,
rocking, so it was
and
legitimate.
I think we're just like this is
Yeah, so long story
this
short, we're
isn't the first
married
impression.
now.
Oh, well, you
Which
know,
is funny because,
there are few places
this is an
to
episode
go
explicitly
in
about
the
first
rest. It's all
impressions.
uphill from there.
Yeah.
I think it made his
Absolutely.
Mima like me better, though. She always winks at me when we see each other.
Game respects game. Or maybe Gam respects game.
She's a salt
Yeah,
of
tell
the
the
earth
cuties
kind of lady.
how
I think.
you play
First
tricks on me.
impressions
How do you
come in all
bamboozle me?
Oh,
How do
wait,
you
shapes,
bamboozle
sizes,
me?
I know,
Hit me
and
so hard.
Yeah, because I
Thank you so
view
much,
this
Violet.
as a
You
prank
have a
show.
great
Like
evening.
my goal
Thank you.
here is to
All
get
right.
Rachel
Well,
as
what
Joanne
did we
to
learn?
bite
If
on
the
something
boat
and to,
comes
like,
a-rockin',
think a call's going to go
watch
some way
out for
and then
family.
completely
You know, Josie, I've
like,
been in that same
flat-footed.
boat.
That
As a matter of fact,
I
when
hope they
I
cleaned it
designed the calls,
All right,
I
coming up
will
next, we have
sometimes a
Owen
line
calling in
that's
from Crestfield.
just says
Owen,
twist, and then a
welcome
detail
to
that
the
they
show.
hang on to
Hey,
until
Josie.
they're sure that they're getting the
Hi.
wrong advice.
How's it going?
It's
And
going
it's
all right.
and
How can
it's
I
so
help?
good. And, you know,
Wondering if you
like
had
it's
any,
almost
advice on
your ability
how
to roll
how
with it
how to
is
make a good
almost
first
like
impression.
too
That's what
good.
this is about, right?
Wait, what?
Owen, you want
Well,
to know
no,
how to make
because
first impressions
I think a
on
lot
me?
of the audience
Of course, I
doesn't
think I can
realize
help.
how good I've gotten
what
you
am
at so
I
many
supposed to
of
say?
these
What-
times.
what-
Oh!
Because they don't see your
This is-
face, right? And
What's
obviously
okay.
your face is just like,
Impression?
oh!
Oh, staring
What are you-
daggers
what are
at
you
you.
doing?
I level
Saying
my eyes into my
about-
webcam and
I'm a
flames
nice
side of my
guy.
face.
But your voice is all like,
You feel
and
good
I
inside
think
and
that
in
Where do you typically possibly meet
Well,
one. That
I
might
think
help.
the thing that we need to do now
bouncer.
is
I
really just
follow corn
communicate
on
better.
tour, so I be able to see all the
Okay.
corn shows.
Well, this
from
is
the
actually
corn.
really funny too,
So I
because
go
I've
into the
never.
mosh pits
It's
and make
what
sure nobody's,
I do not
getting
consider
hurt,
myself an
getting
improviser,
trampled.
so
I'll go
the
up to a
idea
lady,
that
I'll
my
go,
like
I'll say,
crippling
what are you doing
people-pleasing
here?
tendencies
Why
could
you
be
coming here?
alchemized for
Well,
good is really.
You're a big guy
It's
bouncer.
really
I'm about
exciting.
6'6".
Oh,
It's season 1
maybe
too.
instead of
I think we've
What are
balanced
you
this
doing
out a little
here?
bit too.
Try
But the
what brings
advice
you to
that
the
you
concert.
give
Yeah.
some of
What-
these people
what brings
is
you to the
so
concert?
bad sometimes.
That's a little better.
What's in
Well,
your bag?
Do it.
Well,
What things
is
are
it really?
important
Because
to you in
I
your
think
life
it's how
that
I
you
would
carry
have to.
around with
Well,
you
it's just
everywhere?
This is
like
bad.
like there's so many
Picture of
times that I'm
money
just
law.
like, okay, well this person's clearly
But
describing
we
murdering
never get
someone
there.
and hiding the
So
body,
you're a
and you're like,
gentle
okay,
giant.
well you have to be
I just want
careful where you
have
bury
a
them.
lady in
And
the
I'm like,
garden.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Rachel,
I
that's
just want the kind of
not.
love you see in
Well,
one of those
that would be
Efron
not
movies,
yes-anding
you know?
them, wouldn't it? Aren't I
I've always
supposed to
wanted
play
drive
along
up to
and
California one
Yes-anding
on a
doesn't mean
motorcycle for
agreeing.
3
It means
days.
accepting
Stop at all the
the
vineyards.
reality
I love
of what
good,
they're giving.
Good Merlot.
See,
I
I'm not an
well, then
improviser,
maybe
y'all.
the answer is you shouldn't be finding
No, no.
women
But that is
on
that's
the job at
interesting.
concerts.
You can
Find out
and
if there are any
honestly, and you don't
botanical
always
gardens
trick
around
me for
nearby, or
comedy's
a
sake.
farmer's
There's, I
market,
think,
something that gets
one
you
very,
outside,
very,
something
very
that
key example
allows you to
in season
point
1
over there
where
and say,
you use
"Hey,
that
lady
that
to my
to
left,
great effect
look,
for
over
dramatic
there."
purposes.
Oh
Isn't
yeah, yeah.
that a
At
cute
the
doggy?
end
What are
of
you
the
doing
season.
over there? What's that dog
Because
We're going to figure out
we
how
could
to
talk
really
pretty much
fine-tune
about
these
your
icebreakers.
backstory. I mean, I
You're
think
at
like most of the
a
important
farmer's
details are
market,
out there for
and
cuties that
you
are caught
and
up.
a
Yeah,
lady that
and
you've
even if
just
they don't
laid
know,
eyes
this
on
would be
are both
this is a perfect
standing near
time
the
to
rutabagas, and
confirm
you say,
something that is heavily implied
"Nice to meet
in
you. Come here
Yeah,
often?"
for everyone who
This
is
episode.
still listening to this. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Come here all the
Joanne,
Where were you last Friday?
Well,
as
hi
we
there.
know her,
Come here often.
has fled to New
Come here
Mexico
often?
in
Okay.
shame and terror.
You're at a dog
because,
park and somebody has
she,
a really sweet little puppy
wasn't
with them,
in
and ask
therapy,
them,
I think.
"How old is your pup?"
Oh, stop!
No, but
How
a
old
lot
is
of her
your
backstory
pup?
is she had
How
to deal with the
old
tragic death
is
of
your
a child,
pup?
and
Is that
she
it?
cheated on her
Take it
husband.
easy out there. That is such a
And
cute dog.
like afterwards, when they were
Oh,
like
would it be a
dealing with the
shame
chaos,
if something
and
happened
Nope,
to
it's
such
the
a
the
opposite.
opposite way.
It's-
Right. She was
It's the opposite way.
yeah.
She had an affair, and her husband
Away
forgave
from the
her.
dog.
And
What are some of the other
but then
places
the
that you
affair
go to?
partner
I go to
set the house
car
on fire.
shows.
Right,
You
that's
ever
right.
do that?
So even though she had a chance to make it
how
right,
about you,
like
you say,
Yes.
what's your dream car?
Yeah, and all season long,
Oh,
we
what's your
were
dream car?
trying
that
to like
actually-
draw out like
that
little bits
actually
of her
kinda works.
backstory, and it
I
was
could
going
hear
to
how
end
excited you
with
are
this
about
big
the
confrontation
car.
with someone who
Maybe
was in a
you
similar
gotta find a
situation where
lady
they
who's into cars.
were
What's your
unfaithful.
dream car?
And
What are
we
your
were all
dreams?
season long,
Where
all,
do you
in
wanna
all the
go
prep we
when
were
you're
talking about, right?
old?
And then we
What's
have
on
the
your
cheater
bucket
coming
list?
on, and then we'll
That
have
is
this
the
big
way
like
in for you,
emotional
and I
moment
think you
where
really
you have
hit
to
on
deal with
something.
your
Yeah.
infidelity.
I
the
wish you
I had
whole
all the
notes
luck
and
with these future lucky
flashcards
ladies
of
yours,
way,
and you have
ways
yourself
that
a
it could go.
wonderful
Does
night.
Joanne
thanks so much,
get
Josie.
venomous
I'm
with
feeling
her
better
and take
already.
out
You have
all
a
of
good
her
night.
self-hatred on this other caller? Is she trying to rehab her own experience? Is she going to try and launder her own history through this caller? I had plans on plans. I Batmaned it.
Right, exactly. Which of course
But
I
then-
can't allow. And so what I did instead
this
is I
might
had
sound a
Jeff
little
Grimwood,
strange, but I
who's
think that you and I have
amazingly
already
talented
met.
improviser,
Yeah,
talk about
I was at a
losing his
little
child,
speed dating
and
event
it's
last
his
week,
fault.
and
it was
I
the
am-
other aspect
I'm
of her
almost
tragic
positive.
backstory.
That's so interesting.
And
Yeah.
oh god,
Was not-
I wish we were recording.
And you
video
hear
on
it.
that.
You hear it.
I
You
yeah.
don't know about
you
that.
hear
Your
it, and
voice
it's
sounds
frustrating that
pretty
this is a
unique to
mostly
me.
improvised show because I'm like
You
that's
had,
it's not acting.
long,
That's
dark
not. I'm
hair
just
and a
I'm
loose
so upset in that
ponytail
moment.
and,
Some of the
Yeah.
mystery
While
of the
also
holler to them.
like mad
My
and
listeners, my
impressed
gosh.
with you, which is I think
I
a state I
was
always find myself in
there.
is
You do
like
always
I
find
knew
yourself
it.
in that
I
state,
knew it.
mad
Just
and
let me
impressed
go
at me.
with your producer, I think, is
pretty
name
much.
is
Yeah.
It's
Fran.
frustrating
Yeah, that's
because
where I
I
live.
want
He
to
can
throttle you so
give
much, but
you
you're a
real phone
genius.
number
And
you know,
so
it's so funny.
in this,
We've got
I'm
to cut
constantly
to
vacillating
commercial.
I get it, Josie.
between
but
like
I will
get it.
frustration
back
You're
and
trying to play
bemusement
it
and
cool
like
for your
that's
audience,
you
and
son
that's
of a
cool by
bitch.
me.
Fran,
While
I get it. I'm
you
winking.
needing to
Seems like
continue this
we've
conversation with
disconnected.
Jeff and realizing that I'm starting to
gotta
cry.
head to commercial,
I
cuties,
do
so
not
you
have
sit
children,
tight for
but
word from
this is
our
still.
Yeah, we actually have like.
No, well,
10
not
thinking
anymore.
you
Frank, you heard me. Word from us.
Ah!
Oh, sorry. Are we not talking about that? Joanne, you
Ha.
dog. Oh, I'm
Rough
Joanne.
stuff.
Nobody likes me.
It's not bad.
Yeah. So, anyways, back to the episode. Oh, you don't
Yeah.
like him? What do you have? Like a
where
weird
are we
tooth?
in the
Talks
episode?
close,
What's
smell
happening?
funny?
No,
This is
I don't-
this is the ad break.
I don't actually know. I don't know.
Oh,
what
right. Like we
fantastic.
just had the
Of course, I mean,
speed date
speed
caller
dating, like, at the top
call
of
in,
first.
who was
Like,
asking about some
didn't
different
talk to
woman, and
anybody.
Frank was trying to play
I
matchmaker.
watched.
Even from the beginning,
is-
Frank is looking
Couldn't
out
find
for
the nerve to
you.
actually join in.
It's true,
Well, then
and from
who
the
is
this is
then that?
also a reason that
Oh.
made it such a perfect pilot.
Okay.
Is because this
Well,
is where we set
hey,
up the
even so,
duality
this
of
could be one of those
Josie
funny
versus
stories you tell your
Joanne.
kids
And
about.
I think
Me-
this
not
this
having kids.
duality and this idea of masking and persona
Okay.
persona
well, we're back.
is going to
Three,
be in the foundation of the
2.
show going forward. And I like how we
welcome back.
tricked it out
We've
here.
got
Yeah.
more of your
Well, and
questions
it's such a
to
fun little thing
answer.
because it's
Who do we have next,
Josie
Frank?
Coming up next, we have Kingsley
is
from
pretending
Yata.
to be
Hey.
someone else at the speed dating
Kinsley,
event,
welcome
but
to the
Joanne is
show.
pretending
Thanks
to
for
be
starting us
Josie,
off.
who
Oh,
is
it's
pretending
actually
to be this other
Kingsley.
person.
Like King.
Uh,
I'm King.
And
While also
Oh,
needing to admit to her,
Kinsley, thank you
the
for the
engineer,
correction.
she's
I'm
not even the
sorry.
fake version
So,
of Brave she
what brings
pretends
you
to
to
be
the
in
show?
her monologue.
Yeah.
All right, Josie.
Right, and-
I like
oh, it's
met
Kingsley.
It's all a
this
put
girl
on.
online. Her name is Jamila,
Kingsley,
like
and I'm keen
Pamela,
to
but
be
with a J.
Oh,
She is so cool, and I
Kingsley's the
really want to make a
and
good
actually, a
first
little
impression
preview.
when we meet
Kingsley
to go roller skating.
comes back in season
So
5.
I'm trying to think of like a few
That's
good
what's up.
things
That's
to,
what's up.
Like
Yeah.
to
That's
make
what's
a really
up.
good first impression,
Oh,
and I just
man.
want to
Yeah,
run
she's
them
so
by
good.
you
Sometimes
and
I
see
hear about how
if
Dana
that's gonna
Carvey
work,
and
you know?
Mike Myers had
So
a bit
what
of a
can you
falling
tell
out
me
because
about Jamila?
The Austin Powers thing.
How did
to
you
hear-
meet? What was the spark?
that Dr.
Spin
Evil
the
was like
story.
a character that Dana Carvey had totally
we're
created.
on
No,
this
it's not
site
just a character.
called Fruit
Dr.
Meets
Evil is Dana
Vegetable.
Carvey doing
You know, it's like
Lorne
a little
Michaels.
quirkier than Tinder, Hinge.
Oh, wow.
Mike Myers is
but
doing Dana
really
Carvey's
what
Lorne
caught
Michaels
me
impression.
was her septum piercing.
I didn't
Like,
realize it was
so
that cut and
cool.
dry,
Yeah.
but
We
there are
both
times
have
where I'm
magenta
like,
hair,
Oh,
so
wow.
I
if
think
there was a
that's
character I would
something I really
accidentally,
fancy, you know?
completely like just
So
invoke
how
in the
are
middle
you
of an
going to
audition if I didn't
wow
have another choice,
Jamila
it could be
for these
Kingsley.
first
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like I love Kingsley
Well,
so
Josie,
much that
I
if I
thought
was
these
on the
are really
spot
cool light-up
and someone
shoes.
said, I don't know, do
You
it
think that's,
again,
like,
something
not
totally
cool?
different. Oh
What do you
man,
think?
that's what's
old
up.
are you,
I could
Kingsley?
totally do, and I would feel
yeah,
terrible
I'm like
because
a ripe 19, you know what I'm saying?
you know, like,
Oh, that's. I
what's
mean,
up.
that
I feel
is-
like you have to put
that is
copyright, like
rad.
copyright
So,
Laura Lee
you know,
Walsh.
I
None of these
am
choices.
not
These
gonna
are just
lie,
like
I'm not
I'm
always
stealing.
Yeah.
the
Well, I
most,
mean, I think I probably.
hep cat. So in a way, I mean, if they've
I think
come
the
back,
way our contract is
have
is
at it. It can't
scheduled.
hurt.
We
what
own
else?
their
we
performances.
we own everything
my
out of their
plan
brain
B
from the
is
moment
to
they
lead
record
with the fact
until
that,
like,
some
I
date
have
in the future.
visited
It-
the
it's actually
largest
kind of
rubber band
predatory.
ball, like
now
at
that I think
least
about
It
it.
would be.
All
It would be.
right.
But I've seen
That's-
Laura Lee
I've
has
just
an
recently
awesome one-woman
started
show, and
studying
Kingsley's in it.
close-up
So.
magic.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Oh, she
it-
stole from us.
it-
That's
Yeah,
fine.
like, do you think if I do some,
No,
I can make a trans
no, she
disappear?
Yeah.
She
she
stole our
uh,
character that
I
I
usually
wrote.
don't think of making
Yes,
that
clearly,
kind of magic on a
clearly.
first
That's-
date. But
that's-
look at you. breaking
You
the
are
mold, and I
the
really,
Brian Wilson
I'm
of
smelling what you're
character
stepping in.
comedy. And
Yep.
How are you going
I
to
am.
meet
You know,
her?
I'm
Are
always
you
working
going
behind the scenes.
to
Actually, you know, I
hug?
wonder
Are
if
you
Carla
gonna do
should
a
actually
kiss?
get
Yeah, I
credit
was
because
really
so
thinking
Carla, my
about
wife, from the
bowing.
first call,
Okay,
often
what
names
should I do,
all the
curtsy?
characters because I have to come up with like a ton of names
I do
over
think
the
it's
course
a
of a
step
season, and I'm
above
bad
that,
at it.
but
And
why
Carla
not just
is on the like the name
bring it in for a
nerd.
hug?
Oh,
Subreddit.
I'm also a
you
name
got-
nerd.
And so like
You
before
said
we
you had a
record, I'm like,
list.
okay, so we have this
okay,
character who
yeah, I
is
could
cheating
give her my
on his
favorite
wife
beach
and has a
towel.
second family.
It has the
but then
Brazilian
he
flag
also
on
has
it
a
because
third
my
family,
distant
and he's just
cousin
trying to
brought
pick.
it back once.
And she'll
for
be like,
me.
She's like,
keep
Damien.
them coming.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'm like,
I was
yep.
Also,
thinking
but,
of
like,
bringing
that's
her
kind
my
of an
favorite
obvious
silly
choice,
putty
no offense
that
to
is
you.
Wow.
sparkly,
You're very
nice.
So
Wow.
I thought
Damien
she could
is the
keep it in
devil.
her
The
pocket
Damien's
and,
the
like,
omen.
have
He
it
is
as a
the
memento or
Yeah,
something.
no,
the
I'm
Yeah,
aware.
makes, like,
There's a
heart
lot of
noises,
nuanced
which is kinda
choices
cool.
in there.
Anything
You know,
else?
we
He's
picked an
also
What if
obvious.
I
Batman's
bring her
son.
my favorite meal from Taco
Well,
Bell? She works at
yeah.
Taco Bell.
And in
so,
that
like,
way,
she
Damien
probably
has
the same
multiple
favorite
families.
meal.
Yeah.
Like I bring
The
her
Bat
goat
family.
crunch
No, we're not-
ice
we're
cream
not
with
getting
extra
into this.
nuts
And
This
his
is-
mother,
no
Talia al
real cheese,
Ghul.
Okay,
extra sour
okay.
cream
You know,
on the
maybe if
side,
we were doing
Baja
commentary
Blast,
on a
extra
SPR
large,
episode,
4
but,
packets of ranch
for this,
on the
let's-
Oh,
side,
it's a
let's
just
keep
for
shame.
it,
extra
Which
special
actually,
treat.
if
What
you
do
guys are
think?
still
Yeah,
listening and you
so what-
have
what if
and
I,
you're a
like,
cutie by
reach
trade
out
and
to
did
her,
not
like,
find
in a
us by way of
certain way,
Superhuman
like,
Public
like,
Radio,
I say
that
to
is
her,
how
like,
Maximilian and I
Jamila,
began our
let's jam it
collaborative
up,
journey. That is
sluts.
when I realized what
Here's the
amazing
thing,
writing
Kingsley.
partners that we made.
You've already
And it is
met
also,
on
in
the
its own
app.
right, just
So
a
in many ways,
kick-ass
you've
fucking
aced
audio
the
drama.
first impression because Jamila's
it's
gonna go on a
it's
date
parody
with
with a
you. You've
purpose,
already killed
and
it.
I knew
shoes.
I knew
You're
I
gonna
wanted
be
to work with this
waiting for
mofo
the
after
slow
listening to it.
dance
So
and
head
make it the
over
whole
there
thing
while you're
thing.
waiting
I
for
mean,
season
I don't
5
even know if I
and
can
listen to
handle
some of
that.
that.
That sounds
There's a really
amazing,
fun
though.
like
Like,
Matryoshka
Gemma
doll
was kinda like
thing
the first
where
person I'd
I,
ever
as an
really be
analog for
dating.
Sarah Koenig of
Yeah, the
Serial,
nerves
is
are
being
high.
She's meeting you on a
Yeah.
date.
a version of
You've
Harley
already
Quinn
crushed
to
first
the
impression.
Joker.
Now all you can do
It-
is make
I mean,
sure
that-
Come on,
I
should
mean-
I not have
Gemma
said that?
sees
Well,
the
nah, it's fine.
sweet,
You know, honestly, if you're
earnest,
this far, you get
caring
spoilers for
person that
anything.
I've just
Here's
spent
what's
If
happening
you
in
have made it
season
this far,
5.
You do that, you are
Or
set up for
maybe
success
we've
in
got
your
like
life.
some audio
Okay, cutie?
vigilante out there who's gonna take the
Wow,
thing
thanks,
and
you're
like
way
separate
nicer
the
than
audio
me to my
tracks, you know?
grandma.
Yeah, yeah,
Is there
yeah.
anyone smart
Okay,
enough
I
to
feel
do
like
that?
I
Oh,
have
you
what I
you should
needed.
leak
Is
it.
everyone
You should leak it.
smart enough? Yeah,
Josie.
there's people that are
Afraid
smart
it's time
enough.
for
It's
last
just,
call,
you know,
Josie.
who
We
would
got
bother
Jackson
to hear
calling
us?
him from Peak Place.
Hey, do you want to hear Rachel and Max just shooting the shit? I spent.
not
I
shooting,
spent.
it's-
Wait, I sent this to the FBI, and Not the current FBI, the federal FBI.
Actually, I wonder if people, because like AI will probably not be able to pull our voices because they'd be pulling out our voices from our voices.
They had Zydeco Bill and the Head Hoppers
Whoa.
playing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Zydeco Bill. It's
It's
Al.
It's Al again.
Yeah.
Who I never seen her before.
Oh yeah, he's doing the Cinderella. The Cinderella. Oh,
I love Al Pagano. Al Pagano, like so many of the most talented people I know, I also get from my wife because she just remembers everyone, and as soon as they're talented, she's like, I will never forget you. and every now and then, I'm like, hey, I need like a Southeast Asian, like big
glass blower.
like with just like super like big sounding lady.
Well, Jackson.
And she'll be like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I have four of those. And I'm like, oh okay, just in your brain. Where
That's just why
I can't remember anyone. Like everyone I've ever met. And as a matter of fact, if you're listening and you've met me, I'm so sorry that I do not remember it. But like I need Post-it notes. I like it's it's terrible. It's my curse.
She's Cinderella.
Is it like people or is it faces or like you can't assign names with?
It's faces and names. I'm pretty good at backstories.
No.
So like if you start telling me a little bit about yourself, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. And like you were teaching in that high school when it burned down. Yeah, that's right. What was your name again? And how did we meet?
That's so frustrating because I'll have a similar thing, but I'm very good at faces and names. I'm super good at
that's
faces
great.
and
Well,
names.
no, and
terrible.
This is
And
why
I'm
I've latched
terrible
onto you. Like what are those things that are attached?
Barnacles?
No, the ones that are attached to sharks.
Lampreys.
Yeah, I'm a lamprey.
Oh well.
Hey, no, that's my job.
You should
Yeah,
not.
true. Hey, sharks
go
can
door
suck
to
too.
door.
I got
No, they
actually, I
can't.
feel
They
like
literally
the
can't.
design of their mouth, they can't.
Because here you are. You have
What's
the
cooler,
radio
the
at
fact
your
that
disposal.
dolphins can
So,
sleep
anyone
half
in
their brain
peak
at a time,
press.
or the fact that baby
If
sharks
you were down
are usually born
listening
in
to
litters and
Zydeco
only one
Bill
live
and
shark
the
is
Head
born
Hoppers,
because the strongest
and
pup
you
has to eat its
danced
others
with
in
a
the
man,
womb.
and
which
you
is a cooler
might have
fact.
left your
I think
shoe.
the dolphin thing.
Call
Because it's
into
something
this
we all aspire to.
station
Actually,
and
right
we
before
will
we started
connect
this,
you. How
Rachel
does
asked
that
me
sound,
to turn
Jackson?
off most
You
of my
leave your
brain,
information
and
with
I did
Frank,
it so
and if
well,
we find
and
your
it felt
Cinderella,
so
if we
good.
find your
Yeah,
runaway
he
gal,
literally dialed
we
himself
will
down to
put you two
16%
together.
capacity.
Yeah.
Like taking the brightness down on your
Oh,
phone
I'm gonna do
until
it again. I'm doing it right now.
he's doing it right now.
We
Yeah,
will
his eyes
absolutely do
are
that. And I mean that.
not
Out
squinting,
there,
they're just
if we have
so
a New
heavy that
Mexican
he can
Cinderella,
barely-
just
his
know
mouth
there's a
slightly
gentleman here
agape.
who is gonna try and
He
ask
looks
you to dance
like
one more time.
an
Why not
old-
third song's a charm?
It's-
Old,
Frank,
it's
I
warm.
can't think of a
ancient
better way
Amazonian
to end
fish.
our night. Is
A
that
tobacco.
right?
Well, I can think of one better way.
Listlessly
We actually have a return caller from earlier in the
moving
night.
through
Maybe
the
love is still
water.
in the air for our own
Seagrass
Joseph.
tickling his
that
ventral
sounds
fins.
So tempting. But I
Or
think we might
a
do it.
goby,
And tonight
or a
I'm
shark-nosed wrasse.
Send everyone off to
flitting
Dreamland,
by.
won't you?
Yeah, I suppose we must.
I'm proving I know a weird
Don't worry,
amount
I'll
of
keep him
fins.
on.
Oh, hey, we're coming
Let's
up on
keep
the.
this love
Ow,
going.
jeez, I came up
My
too fast.
lonely
Oh God,
hearts won't be
that
lonely
thing that
for
happens
long.
to
If
scuba
you call
divers
into
is
the
happening to
show,
me.
you've got Josie
Oh, you've got the
here.
intellectual
Thank you.
bends
Yeah, I got
with
the
the brain
bends. I got the
bends.
brain
You're gonna
bends.
have a
Okay.
great
Because
week
it looks
until I
like
hear
brain
you
freeze
again.
you just
Yeah,
had.
Now,
well, it feels
don't
like it too. We're
move
coming into
a
the
muscle.
outro
We've got
on the show,
another
and
show wow.
coming
something
up.
we did in
Frank,
season one.
what
If
is,
you
yeah,
if you haven't listened in a while,
next show is
I
Jaquan's
forced you to
Vegan
name the
Cookout.
show that's
Vegan
coming
Cookout.
coming up. And when we got to
Jaquan's
season
Vegan
2, I was like,
Cookout
this is
is an
unfair. I'm picking on you the whole
hourly
time.
dedicated to
And
how to
then
be vegan
and then I made
No,
barbecue
you said it
at the
backwards.
same
In
time.
season
A
1,
lot of
you
folks
spring
in
the
New
next
Mexico
show
have
on
run
me.
Right,
afoul
yeah.
of some
And
vegans.
I have to
How do you host a vegan at your
figure
next
it out,
cookout?
and then
Jaquan
you
is
gave
gonna
it to me
show
as
you
a
how.
bone
We've
Yeah.
got
for subsequent
tabbouleh,
seasons.
we've
That
got
suddenly
pick on me.
I am
Yeah.
the one who
We've
can
got
put you on the
seitan,
spot for
and
one
not that
brief
fun
moment, and I
Darth Lord
rarely
type.
make
So
the best of
pull
it.
up
Are
a
there
chair and
any
some tahini
shows
for
that
Jaquan's
really got
Vegan
you, or
Cookout.
you think you
Only
particularly
on
handled in the right way?
KDNN.
Because I've got a couple.
Oh, I never feel like I do a good
We
job
are
there.
clear.
I think the hospital dangler
that went
was
very
pretty
well.
great.
Hospital Dago, yeah, but it
Cole,
brings us
me.
French Stewart,
I'm trying to
who we tricked
Yeah.
onto being on our show.
Uh-huh.
I don't think he knows.
Yeah,
some
he does
sparks.
not know.
does not
He
know.
doesn't know he was on the show.
But French Stewart, the
Who
actual
doesn't
French
love
Stewart,
a
is on
good
our show.
catfish?
And if you don't know who that
I
is,
don't know, deep fried, little slice.
It's
of lemon.
totally
Look,
fine.
Frank, either I'm not Vanessa,
yeah,
who he
and that one
actually
came from the
met at this
warm up.
event,
We
or
warm
I'm
up
not
with the
Josie,
cuties
the
before
radio
we
host who's got
before
some
we call.
crushes.
Yeah.
Before we
There was
Yeah.
dive
this
into a
guy's
session,
pleasantly
and
surprised
it's
by
always
meeting
Frank picking
Joanne
some great
Holtzman.
version of an improv game like Professor
really
Universe
felt
or
that
an
Why'd you go in
alibi
the first
game,
place?
and
I
in many ways,
also when we-
also for you
Why was
improv
that?
nerds, we often tell the
In
cuties,
that
well,
case,
the
mission
callers,
accomplished.
who
It's a
are
good show.
honorary cuties,
I'll
to use
let
the
him
opening
down
monologue
gently, I
as a
guess.
herald. So for
Yeah, I
improv
think that's
nerds, there are
Good show.
times if you
Symmetry.
feel like you might be
Yeah,
hearing
me
a
too.
callback or something
This is Frank.
sounds
Still
tied in
you have to
some way.
understand,
It's
a lot of
usually
people
because
call
after
to,
hearing that
ask
monologue, people
Josie
start
out,
gleaning
and,
little details from it. It's
fortunately, her
really,
dance
I
was-
love
It-
seeing that
it's
in
fun,
action.
too.
It's one of my
Yeah.
favorite parts.
Oh,
You,
it's also great too
actually,
because we don't necessarily
do you
know
mind
what
holding on
order
for
the
just
calls are
one
going to
second?
air in. Because like,
Yeah.
like we want to get the flow.
Josie's
So I
Lonely
keep
Hearts
telling
Club
them,
was
you
created
can't
by Maximilian Clark
reference.
and
You
Rachel
can't be
Music.
like, oh, well, you know,
Our
as this
callers
person
this week
just said.
included the
But
talents of
if you
Al
want to borrow
Pagano,
a theme,
Carla Lerner
like,
Montero,
there's one
Laura
episode
Lee
where
Walsh,
there's
and
just like
Shane
Raccoons!
Snyder.
Yeah, exactly.
Josie's
Yeah,
Wait,
and
we're
that
talking about
that
you by
suddenly
the good
we
people
learned
at
that
the Good
raccoons are
Story
infesting
Guild.
the
Keep track
studio.
of us
Hence,
on
hence
Instagram at
our
Everyone's
Good
Magic.
Story Guild,
2-0.
and
Yeah.
follow us on our Discord in the show notes
That's
below.
that's
Oh, and yeah,
If you
that's
enjoyed the show,
wait, where are the
consider leaving a
credits?
review on
Oh
your
my goodness.
podcatcher
Holy
of choice.
hell.
Oh, look
And-
at that.
I
Tell
think
your
1.5
friends.
is really where
But-
we hit our stride the
Night-night,
first go
cuties.
around.
Yeah.
But now with the
With the
remaster,
remaster, it's
we
101.
are
You know, the thing
cooking
with
cooking with
Josie,
gas
cooking from the
from
beginning.
from the
just-
first course.
She's a
God.
good
What I
girl,
love
but
about
honestly
this director's
high
commentaries,
maintenance.
this
I
is
think
just
you dodged
any
a
meeting
bullet
we
there,
have. Like, we'd
champ.
be doing this for a half hour, and then
No.
we're like, oh, we should really
Hey, you know what they say?
put out that
plenty of
episode that we have to get this, next
Oh,
week.
you fish?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, cuties, we love you.
yeah,
And if
not
you stuck
done much
around,
this week.
what is wrong with you? Seriously.
April Fool's Day, cuties.
Yeah, but we're not joking about the remix. So go back, re-listen. make
We
your friends
aren't, so-
listen. Yeah,
Yeah, keep your ears peeled for that.
keep your hot
Gross.
little ears on the dial. Is that how that goes?
Of your head.
Yeah. What? Night, night, cuties.